Hello everyone, this is James Van Prague. How are you? Happy Tuesday to you. I just finished my Pilates class, so I'm aching. Not really, I'm in control of my core. It definitely helps with the solar plexus and the core, and it's great. I love Pilates. I've been taking 5 years now, and I used to do jazz dancing when I was younger. And I did that for about 3 years. And a lot of the Pilates discipline definitely brings me back to those times when I'm stretching and exercising. Great stretch. We need to stretch every day. This way it forces you to stretch. So just got out of that, so a little late here, but here I am, and here you are. Hello, Bridget. Hello, Kamashi Tayal. I'm good. How are you, Kamashi? Where are you calling from? Carrie Scott, hi. Lisa Hendricks, hello. Troy, hello. Ramnessa, hello. Happy Tuesday. Oh, thank you, Rachel. I love being with you every day, too. I'm having a great day. I was up at 8 o'clock, right up. And I started getting out to my garden and giving banana peels to my staghorn plants because I like the potassium. So I'll go around doing that and watering some new plants and pruning. And that was it. Before I knew it, it was time for Pilates. Hello from the Netherlands. Hello. Hello from New Jersey. Looking great, thank you. I decided my mustache is now coming back. It's official. So it's in the very early seeding stage. So you'll be seeing hair. It'll come as probably white, I'm thinking. Beautiful day in Northern California. Fantastic. It's beautiful in San Diego too. Cloudy, but comes partial cloudy. Thanks, Renee. Hello, Lynn Hopkins. How are you? How is Wales? My heart with you, Lynn. Lynn Hopkins, great medium in Wales. Hello, John Hakawa Kayawa. It's a Japanese name. I wish I could pronounce it. Hi, John. Good morning from Phoenix. Hi, Joseph Barone. How are you, Baroni? Angel the Medium. Hi, Angel. How are you, man? Good to see you again. That's why I said it was with Lynn Probert. Yeah, I just spoke to Lynn this morning. She's doing very well. Doing very well. Love Poughkeepsie. Oh, Poughkeepsie. My heart goes back to Poughkeepsie. I spent school when I was 14. I went to Poughkeepsie Hyde Park. Went to the seminary there. I have no messages from you, sister, or you, Mickey. None. I'm not doing any messages here today. This is really just for us to talk, and I do some sharing, and we will share meditations, insights. Today I'm going to read from some booklets that I want to share with you. But I do readings on Evening of Spirit Messages, and that's on my website. I think it'll be next week. This weekend I'm doing, people on here in SOULCare wanted me to do psychic readings. So I am going to do an evening of psychic readings, which means each person gets to ask one question, and I will psychically tune into what the answer is. So if you're interested in that, go to the website, vanprog.com, and buy a ticket. I think we have 50 people right now. So it'll be about an hour and a half, 2 hours on Zoom, and I'll make sure I get to everyone. So that's the evening of psychic readings, and the next week will be evening of spirit messages, 2 different things. Hi, Jenny from Illinois. Hi, Sherry from New Jersey. Tracy from Concrete, hello. Oh, friends of the Ellis family, okay, great. Mary Catherine Armbuster, hello there. It's supposed to be 80 this weekend in Maine, wow. I've been in Maine, only been it's been cold when I've been in Maine in the autumn time. It's been chilly. What do you feel the power of crystals? I think there is a power of crystals. I think it brings up the frequency, the vibration, moves things faster. Right now we're going to a faster frequency. I'm sure you've all felt it. That's what this time is about, so get prepared, because we ain't seen nothing yet. 500 people, great. So I wanted to share with you today the author of a series of books, booklets, and Science of Mind is really where he's known from. Back, I want to say 1920s, 30s. The other day I mentioned Florence Shin, The Game of Life, and How to Play It. That book is in my Bible. And the other person in the same, it's kind of the same mindset, but very much about, I would say, religious science, the Church of Religious Science, which is the mindset, the working with the mind, and really about responsibilities of the mind. Emmett Fox. Emmett Fox is really the preeminent of many of the science of mind ways and tenets. So I'm going to read you from, this is called The Golden Key, Emmett Fox. And Emmett Fox is just phenomenal. You definitely need to have Emmett Fox in your spiritual library. And if you don't think so, I'm going to read you a little bit of this booklet. It's only a couple of pages, it's only 9 pages. This is from Emmett Fox, and it was published back in 1931 originally, right? 1931, and reprinted was 1959, The Golden Key. And he says, Emmett Fox, I have compressed this booklet into 6 pages. Had it been possible, I would have reduced it to 6 lines. It is not intended to be an instructional treatise, but a practical recipe for getting out of trouble. Study and research are well in their own time and place, but no amount of either will get you out of a concrete difficulty. Nothing but practical work in your own consciousness will do that. Let me repeat that. Nothing but practical work in your own consciousness will get you out of difficulty. Okay? The mistake made by many people when things go wrong is to skim through book after book without getting anywhere. Read The Golden Key several times, do exactly what it says, and if you are persistent enough, you will overcome any difficulty. So I want to read just a little bit of this, maybe page 2 to 3. So he's talking about the science of mind. Their thoughts are things, thoughts are real, thoughts of energy. Okay, so he's going into. As for actual method of working, like all fundamental things, it is simplicity itself. All that you have to do is this. Stop thinking about difficulty, whatever it is, and think about God instead. This is a complete rule, and if only you will do this, the trouble, whatever it is, will presently disappear. It makes no difference what kind of trouble it is. It may be a big thing or a little thing. It may concern health, finance, lawsuit, quarrel, an accident, a love affair, anything else conceivable. But whatever it is, just stop thinking about it and think of God instead. That is all you have to do. The thing could not be simpler, could it? God himself could scarcely have made it simpler, and yet it never fails to work when given a fair trial. Do not try to form a picture of God, which is, of course, impossible. Work by rehearsing anything or everything that you know about God. God is wisdom, truth, inconceivable love. God is present everywhere and in everything, has infinite power, knows everything, and so on. It matters not how well you may think you understand these things. Go over them repeatedly. But you must stop thinking of the trouble, whatever it is. The rule is to think about God, and if you are thinking about your difficulty, you are not thinking about God. To be continually glancing over your shoulder, as it were, in order to see how matters are progressing, is fatal, because that is thinking of the trouble, and you must think of God, and of nothing else. Your object is to drive the thought of the difficulty right out of your consciousness, for a few moments at least, subsiding for it the thought of God. So you could say God is also love. So you do that over and over again, different aspects of God, different thoughts of love. This is the crux of the whole thing. If you become so absorbed in this consideration of the spiritual world that you really forget for a while all about the trouble concerning which you began to pray for, you will presently find that you are safely and comfortably out of your difficulty, that your demonstration is made. In order to golden key a troublesome person or difficult situation, think. Now I am going to golden key John or Mary or that threatened danger. It's called the golden key. So you're going to golden key it. When proceed to drive all the thoughts of John or Mary or the danger right out of your mind, replace it with the thought of God. By working in this way about a person, you are not seeking to influence his conduct in any way, except that you are prevent them from injuring or annoying you, and you do him nothing but good. Thereafter, he is certain to be some degree a bit better, wiser, and more spiritual person. But because you have golden keyed him, a pending lawsuit or other difficulty would probably fade out harmlessly without coming to a crisis. Justice being done to all parties concerned. So that's, if we want to say it, is healing. We do that in healing. A mindset. We do that in meditation. We do that in centering. We do that in mindfulness. What we're doing is our connection to God, our connection to our soul's universal truth, who we are, the fabric of our being. And you're giving yourself time to go there instead of the illusion of this physical world or the illusions of these problems. Yes, they're problems, but you don't. The more you think of them, the more when they get expanded more and more. They actually grow in your head. It could be such a little tiny thing, but then it'll grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the whole thing with this virus now. I cannot tell you how upsetting it is to watch this on television 24 hours a day. Yes, it is a problem, but also I think it needs to be counterbalanced with positivity. That's why I'm doing this, to help you, because the mind's got to be brought to a space of clarity, of freedom, of love, of joy, of healing, of peace. It can't always be on the run and the angst and frenetic. It doesn't do well that way. Our natural state is balance, is peace. It's not frenetic. So you have the responsibility for yourself to, in order to change the macrocosm of the world, you first got to change the microcosm. Change this inner self. Change your inner self. It's easy for us to judge, blame on others, not take responsibility. I mean, a lot of people around us don't take responsibility. That doesn't mean you don't. To be spiritual aware, you have to take responsibility. Yesterday I did a summit with this lovely lady in Australia, Spirit's Voice, and we talked about responsibility. And part of a spiritual journey is learning to take full responsibility for your actions, for your thoughts, for the words that you give out, and for how you treat people. You have to be responsible. Because remember, all that stuff goes somewhere. If you will, it stays within your frame, the makeup of your being. And when it's your time to pass back home to the spirit world, what'll be waiting for you but every single thing you did on this earth, all the thoughts you had, how you treated people, the actions you took. So when we first pass over, there's that life review. Every one of us has a life review. And we see all the things in our life, the lessons that we learned or we didn't learn, the upsets, how we treated people, how we didn't treat people, how we could have loved ourselves, how we didn't love ourselves, how we used fear instead of love. And many people get regrets. They get a lot of regret. If only I knew that when I was alive, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have treated someone that way. I would behave differently. And that's what I wrote the book Unfinished Business. It covers that whole thing. Because we got to be aware. We got to be responsible for our thoughts. It's pretty scary. People ask, is there a heaven or hell? There certainly is. It's what you create by how you treat people on this earth. Thoughts that you have. Not just words you say to them. Thoughts you have about them. What you do with yourself. How you treat yourself. Treating the person you want to be treated. It's the golden rule. The golden key. That's really important. That's really, really important. That's probably my top 5 of the spiritual journey is responsibility, self-responsibility. You can't teach others about taking responsibility. You have to come to that decision, that choice yourself. But I think life is a lot happier when you do take responsibility, because before you react to something, it makes you think. It makes you think about this affecting many people, not just the person you're talking about, but a lot of other people. There's a rippling effect. You have to realize that there's a rippling effect. I talk about this a lot in my workshops. So we have this life review, and you go through your entire life in seconds. The spirit world is no time, so seconds, let's say. You see, feel, and experience things 10 times, 20 times, 30 times stronger than you did originally on the earth. You'll feel it stronger. You'll feel it not only from your point of view, but from the other person's point of view, how that energy hit them, what they felt like. So for instance, let's say one day you were in a very bad mood and you were getting gasoline, and then you had to go inside to pay the clerk, and you were not in a good mood, something happened, and you threw yourself at this clerk, you yelled at the clerk, for some reason you just went off on this clerk. And then maybe that clerk got upset, that made him so upset, or her very upset, that they, for some reason, yelled at their coworker. And the coworker got upset and went home and yelled at a family member. And maybe the family member got upset and called some friend and yelled at a friend, so forth and so on. So there's that rippling effect. So when you pass over and have that life review, you'll see how that one word, that one thought affected that person and that person and that person and that person. And you see the sea of your creation, of what you created by the one word, by the one thought, by the one action. And it's also pretty, I don't want to judge it, but it's upsetting in a way when you have the life review and you realize you didn't do something you should have or you could have. You wanted to stay safe. And you realize, wow, I was given a grace. That time on the earth was grace for me. It was a gift. And I didn't use it the best I could have. Or I used it the wrong way. I used it for self-gain instead of helping others. It won't make you feel good. Remember when you go home to the spirit world, you're in a world where there's no time. So all you have on the other side are your thoughts. It's a mental world. So the only thing over there are really your thoughts. You have to live with your thoughts. Your thoughts are waiting for you. It's a very mental world, where this is a very physical world. That's a very mental world. So people see each other and they communicate by their thoughts. They don't speak. It's by thoughts. You'll see all your thoughts there. Thoughts have a color, a density, and energy. People have good, loving thoughts. It's bright colors and light. When they're heavy, negative thoughts, fearful thoughts, dense, darker, holds you down. What kind of space are you creating for yourself when you pass out of the body? You know, they often say that heaven and earth are what we're living now. We can live our heaven or earth. It's very true. Because, again, what you put out, and not just to people or situations, but to yourself. Do you love yourself? Do you treat yourself as a sacred vessel of God, love? Because we have to. We should. And you know, maybe people won't understand you, and they probably won't. I know in my life, not many people understood me. And that doesn't matter, because I'm not here for people to understand me per se. People like me or not, doesn't matter. What people think of me is none of my business. I'm being true to myself. I'm not hurting anyone. And that's what we got to look at. Anyway, that's the story there. I hope that helped. Emmett Fox is the author. You should definitely look Emmett Fox up. I read everything of Emmett Fox. I have a whole library. Not a lot of books, but little pamphlets. This little pamphlet, 6 pages. It's worth it. It's worth its weight in gold. Spiritual New Thought, 1939. I'm going to put back the comments. Thank you, Spirit. That was a nice little talk. Thank you. Hi, Judy. Hi, Jamie Gregg. Rudolf Steiner. Yes, Rudolf Steiner is also great. But I find Rudolf Steiner a little heady for most people. So Rudolf Steiner is great. Esoteric studies like Alice Bailey as well. But it's a little heady for most people. So I think Emmett Fox is an easy way in. It's an easy way, easy understandable. It's, of course, you know, if you remember, it was written in the 30s, so there's a little Christian-esque religious thing, but you can look right through that because it still works. I don't find him to be as religious as other people in that day. Just like Edward Casey was a bit religious too. He was a minister at one point. Was it ever lonely being a medium? That's a great question, Rachel. I'm just right now, actually, before the call, and between the Pilates class and this, I was going through my applicants for Mediumship 2. So I'm reading every single applicant. I'm up to 20 people. Some were not accepted, some were. And it's really interesting to find out people's spiritual journey. So if you're interested in Mediumship 2, please go online now and register, because we're going to close registration in the middle of June. So now's if you're interested. But yes, I wouldn't say I'm lonely as a medium. I would say it's a road of solidarity. It's a road of solemn. It's a road of being happy to. I'm happy to be alone. I love being alone. I think from my many years in monasteries and religious orders, but it's a solitary road. I'd say on many levels it is. Which by the way, that's what the lockdown doesn't affect me as it would most people. Because I love solitude. I love being with myself. I love being in the quiet. I love it. Living Hopkins, you should read Emmett Fox if you haven't, sweetheart. It's amazing how the spirit world knows exactly what they need to say. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Kent. Michael, Kelly and McLeod, moved to the 5th dimension. We're moving to the 5th dimension. I'm not going to label it 5th, 4th, 6th. I just know we're moving, the frequency is changing, and we're in that now, in that flux. I think right now in this lockdown period, but the universe knows what they're doing. It's a great time for us to go stay at home, which means inside ourselves. Stay here and ground yourself. Everyone needs to ground themselves to this new energy. So if we're moving to another frequency, which we are, I'm going to call it dimension, and the veil is much thinner, you have to be ready to receive that energy on a higher frequency. And the best way to do that is to ground yourself. Everything like electricity has a grounding cord, grounding rod, grounding. All things have to have grounding when they're electrical. You have to have grounding. Same thing with us. We're electrical beings. We need to have grounding. How do you ground? I'll do a whole day on grounding. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do an exercise on grounding tomorrow, because you really need to stay into the earth and be of the earth. You can't be so spiritually aware, earthly good, So tomorrow we'll talk about grounding, but we need that right now at this time. Hello, Shiny from Scotland. Oh, good, Betty. Yes, for children are very important. Mine is outside in the living room, away from me. I miss my dad too, Carol. Have you ever worked with Mateus De Stefano? I don't know who that is. Who is that? Does fluoride affect your intuition? I've never heard such a thing. I wouldn't even think of that. I would think that what you can do to improve your intuition, sitting in the quiet, going into your heart space, not your head space, from head to heart. Yeah, tomorrow we'll do grounding. Yes. You're welcome, Lisa. Yes, no problem. Everybody needs it, especially now when all these weird things are happening. The world feels weird. When I went to Target yesterday, it was like going to a war zone. It was bizarre. So I just put myself in my own little bubble. Susan Randall, how did your mediumship affect your Catholic upbringing? Did it create conflict for you? I think I've always been aware as a child. I think that came from past lives, religious discipline. But I also think it gave me a nice foundation for mediumship, a nice foundation for working with people, for serving humans. I knew when I was a little boy, 3, 4 years old, 5 years old, when I go to church with my mother, I knew I wanted to serve in some way. I didn't know how, but I knew that sense of serving. And I used to love watching the Mass, and I love the whole ceremonial part of it. The songs and the organ. We used to stay in the choir, and we'd watch Mickey, the organ player, play the songs. And Mother said to me one day, she said, Jamie, one day you're going to play the organ in church. I guarantee it. So, if you look at my movie, Talking to Heaven, starring Ted Danson, there I am in the middle of a church playing the organ. Now, the director knew nothing about this, Mr. Gyllenhaal. He knew nothing about this, of course. So when I sat there, I was like, okay, Mom. And the other thing was, all the trucks that were helping with the scenery and the crafts, the name of the company was Driscoll inside of the trucks. And that was my mother's maiden name. So, very interesting. Oh, John, yes. John Williams, yes. I'll talk about running your energy tomorrow, John, for sure. I'll talk about running your energy tomorrow, how important it is, and also grounding tomorrow. So we'll do that definitely tomorrow. Lisa says, I lost my best friend last July. She told me she had something to tell me, but passed before she could tell me. So have you tried to contact her, Lisa? Sitting quietly and releasing your breath, going with the rhythm of breath, and ask her to come into your thoughts. That's what you can do. Am I going to make a new TV movie? Laura, I don't know. If they're making TV movies, if they're making them when the time comes back, I probably will. There's a bunch of different ones that I could do. I'm up for a couple of shows, but then everything stopped, so we'll see. Kathy D. Seville, there's a long tradition of Catholic Christian mysticism. Those of us who were raised got to experience it. It's very true, Kathy, and did you realize that the Vatican has the largest library of esoteric books? Just saying. The chakra points work really well with the last rites, Annunciation, it's all there. But really what it is in mysticism, it forces us to go back to ourselves. There's no religion to it. So you don't pray with someone else who has the power. You have the power. So they didn't want you to have the power. So they took all those books. So Hello and good afternoon, Aaron Bell. Drozda. I don't know what that means. I'm Catholic, but I'm very spiritual. Yeah. Lineage of Catholicism or Judaism. My family's Catholic and Judaism the other side. When I was raised, I was very much relatable to the tradition of Judaism. And but I never understood, is it a tradition? Is it a religion? People think it's a way of life. It's just a religion. But then, so it's hard. Oh, thanks, John. John just put on, thanks. John Williams is my producer, helped me out with my Evening of Spirits. So John put in the bottom here, tips are available for an evening of psychic readings. It's May 22nd. It's coming up in a couple of days. And that's 4 to 5:30, which we'll probably go over. But feel free, $19. Hello. Thanks, John. Oh my God, Susan Bucci, you remind me of being a server. Yes, I was an altar boy. I remember the first time I was an altar boy, I couldn't make the Catholic church school that I was going to, I couldn't make the altar boys. I guess it was an audition. But I went to another church around the corner from my house they call it the Polish church because of Polish neighborhood. And I remember that my first crush, I was a crush with this guy who was the head of the altar boys. I was like, hi, 10 years old, 11 years old. And then I joined the altar boys and the man left. Okay. Signed up for the evening, good. Lori Deppie, please help. What are you doing to help yourself? Oh, that's so funny, Sally. I wrote about that in my book. Same exact thing, Sally Richards. Exactly. Growing up and you hear eating the body and drinking the blood for a child, it's like, it's disgusting. It's like gross. It's like a bad horror movie. Yeah, for kids, it's not a great way they don't explain the symbolism to young kids. They just didn't in my time, in the early 60s. I have an uncle who's a priest. He talks to spirit. Yes. A lot of priests, if you will, are very mediumistic. I'd say majority of them. Yeah. So if you're interested in an evening of spirit, please just go to the website, vanprog.com, and see about that. I just finished reading Growing Up in Heaven. This is from Sunitsa Chetko. Where are you from, sweetheart? I love that name. Thank you so much. Oh, found peace in it. Good. Growing Up in Heaven is very good for parents who lost children. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. I look good in a hat. You do not want to see what's underneath this hat. Trust me. I'm doing you all a favor. You don't want to see what's underneath this hat. I took the buzz, the clippers went off the dark brown hair from my audition. And I haven't had a mustache in 30 years, so it's growing back. But I like the change. It's always good to have a change. Kamashi, how to travel through difficult choices, but keep positive. Love, honey. Love, not fear. Love is what guides you, because you are love. So you have to use love in all different circumstances. Even when it seems hard and difficult, use love. And remember, you're not of this earth. You're of the spirit world. You're just having these experiences. You're a soul having a human experience, not the other way around. You're welcome, Suzanne. Thank you for making this community. I was the very first website on the internet to have a community page, to have a chat room. The very first one, to have a chat room about grief. Very first one. That was when we dial-up. Remember dial-up? That's what right before I started doing Larry King. Your brother commits suicide. A lot of suicides going on, Barbie. Almost 2 weeks ago. Is he in heaven? Of course he's in heaven. Where else would he be? Of course he is. Thank you, Ashley. Does being a vegetarian help with mediumship? Kimberly wants to know. I'm trying to be a vegetarian, as I told you all. I'm trying the best I can, and I was at Target yesterday. I don't think right now is the time to start it because we're in this flux of nutsiness out there with everything going on. So I'm not going to start till I can get my mind straight around it. I know that sounds like an excuse, but I have slowed down when I'm eating. I don't eat as much. You know, I think it's more important what comes out of your mouth than what goes in it. Everything in moderation. Everyone's in quarantine. Everyone should be in quarantine. Should things open up? I don't think so. I know economically it's difficult, but I think it's early. I just do. I look like Matt Damon in his movie about a medium. Well, he did write me about that, and he knew about me. But that's all I can say. Thank you, I guess. Let your hair grow. I am, Janice. I am. I'm letting my hair grow back to white or gray or whatever it was. You get tired of seeing this ball cap. Thanks, John. Love you, John. I know we're still going to talk to each other. We're going to call each other. We'll do it. Amy, how can you read people's energy through online? I'm interested in getting a ticket. Oh, Amy, I just hear their voice and I just tune in. It's easy. Done it 40 years. Get a ticket. It's only $92. Hello. Iris, I'm in quarantine. It's been the longest loneliness time. Now, Iris, I think you're a creative person. And I think you could do things like not necessarily dye your hair and shave your mustache because you don't have one. But you could do some creative stuff you haven't done, you had a chance to do. Believe me, I just saw a commercial this morning that said, when things get back to normal, you're going to miss the time alone. Use this time. Do things you always wanted to do. Be creative. Have fun. Start to have a relationship with yourself. Find the good things about yourself that you love. That maybe you're too busy in regular life couldn't take the time to find out what you love about yourself. This is an opportunity this time. Make the best of it. Seriously. Don't be a victim. Be a survivor. Be strong. Don't be weak. I do believe in numerology. It's, again, another way in. Another method of tuning to the knowingness. Hi from Germany. Hello, Danja. I'm very well, thank you. Hi, Bev in Oregon. Rachel Margaret wants to know, when you experience a closed door, do you interpret that as a no from spirit or that you need to work harder or raise your vibration? So I don't know, Rachel, what you're talking about when I'm doing spirit communication or just everyday life. So a psychic once told me many years ago, when I was 18, 19, and first psychic reading, and she said to me, in your journey in your life, when you come upon an obstruction, an obstacle, that means that you're not supposed to go down that road. Turn and go down another road. And I've always used that. And I tune in immediately with my own feelings, sense. What do I sense here? What do I sense with this energy? What do I sense? And I follow my knowingness. I follow that gut every time. And it's got me where I am. God always says yes. The ego says no. So you got to be able to discern too. Okay, everybody, I'm going to let you go from here, and I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk about grounding and running energy tomorrow, and thank you all very, very much. Please tell your friends about this, too, who might not know about this positive, loving space that we share every day, and blessings to you all. Thank you. Bye.